Good morning, it's May the 6th, Sunday morning, and we're on the Celebrity Eclipse, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're just docking in Bergen, and this is our little trip to the Norwegian fields. As you can see, it's pretty dark and overcast, and looks like a pretty severe storm there in the distance. It's quite chilly, probably about 5 or 6 degrees, and in the distance on the hilltops there's obviously been a little bit of snow overnight, and the forecast isn't particularly good temperature wise, but very shortly we should be going ashore and just having a little wander around Bergen again. Well, we've moved off the ship down into the old part of Bergen, and being Sunday morning, most places, shops, etc. are closed. We're in the area of the fish market. There's a few stalls open, and we're just having a nice wander around. It's been snowing, would you believe, and it's quite chilly. Again, I suppose the temperature is somewhere in the order of 3 or 4 degrees, but the wind's making it a bit cooler, obviously. Above us here we have the funicular railway, which we went up a few years ago, and then this is, as I say, this is the very old part of Bergen, and down along here we have the old Hanseatic warehouses, etc. We just moved on a little bit further, and in front of us are the old Hanseatic sort of warehouses that have been converted into shops, etc. Very colourful. A lot of people around for a Sunday morning, but I think the majority of these are from the cruise ship that we're in. We've moved down one of the alleyways between the old Hanseatic houses, and there's something going on here which I don't quite understand.
Vi tar hans hode og putter det opp i et stav som vi har fylt med tjære, kalk, sidelake og håre. En blanding som man etterpå må skylle munnen med. Hei!
Well, we're taking protection because hopefully, as you can see, it's well, it's snow come hail coming down. It's quite cold, and looking in the distance there you can see the weather's deteriorating, and in the distance you can see the snow on the hilltops. Well, we've moved on overnight and we've just pulled in to Flam. Very comfortable night, but as you can see it's quite cold, and we've had snow overnight. Small village of Flam, where later this morning we should be going on a rather beautiful train ride up into the mountains. It looks a beautiful little spot just here. Well, we've just come ashore. As you can see, we're at the head of the field, and if I just pan around through literally 180 degrees, you can get a flavour of what it's like here. Very sort of small little village, snow-capped sort of hills and mountains surrounding us. It's quite cold, I'd say it's 3 or 4 degrees, but at least it's crystal clear and dry at the moment. Just down here is the railway that we'll be going on very shortly up into the mountains. Mrs. Nynham taking another one of her photographs, and then obviously we come back to the ship.
Remember, we are also returning into the second jump.
There's loads of snow up there, look.
Right hand side.
Well, yes, that's the thing.
Time to go. Coming back to England in late October, we'll forget the coronation celebration. Forget the
Right?
That snow at the bottom here is from an avalanche last winter.
Oh, right.
We
Have a look.
don't see it in a minute. Something else in it.
Neste stopp er ved Kjosfossen, og her var toget stående i om lag 5 minutter. Det kan gå ut på plattformen på venstre side. Vi ber dere være forsiktige ved avstigning.
We've just moved on another couple of miles on the railway, and we've stopped to Jolson for waterfall. And I'll just give a panoramic view. Normally this is an absolutely huge waterfall coming down here, but because we're still sort of just at the end of winter, it's not at its maximum flow at the moment because everything's sort of frozen up. Normally it's a huge waterfall here. Just go through 380 degrees. You can see the train is absolutely packed.
Let's go down over there, some of those
Melting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's falling off.
You go to the...
As you can see, everything is still virtually frozen up from the winter.
That must be the hotel and everything up here. Yeah, just blends in the sky, doesn't it?
I told you we would be above the snow line up here.
They must be here all the time, mustn't they?
Must be close to it.
Waking up in the morning, you've got 10 foot of snow.
I see what you mean now.
Then directly to the table.
Well, we've just been into the hotel and we've had Norwegian waffles with raspberry jam and thick cream and coffee, and we're now just waiting to take the train back down to the coast, but we're just about 2,500–3,000 feet where we are, about 850 meters I think it is. You can hear in the distance somewhat of the roar of flowing water. At least the weather's clear compared with yesterday in Bergen, when it was very misty, low cloud and lots of hailstorms and a bit of snow, etc. But obviously up in the mountains the weather's a lot clearer. Apparently the snow we see here probably will not disappear until about the end of May. Apparently the winter in Norway was quite heavy this year. I think you can just see down the other side of these houses in the distance there. It's a very flat surface, and that's a frozen lake. Nice temperature now, although it's cold, you can cope with it. It's about 4 or 5 degrees, I suppose. But nice little train trip up here. Well, we're up at the front of the ship, and in a few minutes' time we should be leaving Flam and going out of this field. But again, just look at this view. Spectacular. and looking towards the rear of the ship where we're docked, and the small village of Flam. We've got some beautiful views also. We'll come back on board the cabin, or up to the cabin, looking out of our veranda, and obviously the Flam field is rather beautiful. It's Tuesday morning, and we've travelled overnight from Flam back out into the North Sea, and then turned to north for about 150 miles, and then we've come in along via Allison into the fields, and eventually we've found our way here, Granger Field. The field, and in front of us is the little village of Granger. They don't have any actual docking facilities, so people that are wanting to go ashore will go ashore by tender later on this morning when everything's settled. But again, it appears to be a beautiful day. We continuously being surrounded by snow-capped mountains, as you can see. The temperature's hovering around about 5 or 6 degrees, and it's very, very pleasant at the moment. As you can see, one of the little local ferries is just docked here. Roll on, roll off type ferry. And we're now looking in the opposite direction. As you can see, in Grangerfield, we have to go ashore by tender. Tender is another word for one of the lifeboats, as you can see below. And then just looking back at the beautiful scenery. You can see in front of us sort of all the hairpin bends you have to negotiate. You have to negotiate to get out of this valley, this field. And then continuing on, as you can see, it's a beautiful blue day, really enhancing the scenery tremendously. Yeah. As you can see over here, there's a little sort of camping and caravan farm. Absolutely beautiful spot if you can get a caravan here. But of course, in order to get the caravan here, you have to be able to well, bring it down's not so bad, but to tow it back up the zigzag road out of the valley. Also here in Granger village, you can see in front of us there's some caravanning facilities. What a beautiful spot to bring your caravan. And then just up here you can just see waterfall. Beautiful spot. We've just come ashore, as you can see, and again I'll just do another panoramic 360-degree tour of the landscape, which is just stunning. I've just seen a notice here which says sort of welcome celebrity cruise lines, first ship of the year, so I can only assume that we're the first cruise ship to come in the new year. which I find surprising, but you never know. And as you can see, as I said earlier, we come ashore in these sort of lifeboat tenders. There's no sort of docking facilities here, but we're just surrounded by snow-capped mountains. Beautiful. You can see sheer cliffs coming right down into the village. We've just walked a little bit further round through the village, and again just see the spectacular view that we have here. It's Thursday morning. We have travelled all day yesterday and overnight from Grangerfield down the coast and round to the capital of Norway, Oslo. The ship has come in quite early. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning. We had a very, very slow journey down because of very thick fog, would you believe? Yes, but it was very calm, no winds, very comfortable. And so very shortly we will be going on a little coach trip to have a look around the city of Oslo. Well, we've moved on the coach tour, and we come through various streets, etc. in Oslo, and now we've arrived at Vigeland Park, which we came to several years ago. But here we have a number of statues, etc. in the park, and we'll be hearing all about that in a couple of minutes.
Well, in this park, the German beings into the south. So it's quite a lot. And often, Vigeland was asked, what is the meaning of your art? You always had the same answer.
Oh, you know what, sir? No problem. I think they're coming. They're coming.
If I just turn through 180 degrees, just gives you a flavour of the park that we've just walked through and the various statues, etc.
statues in one place.
This statue took 21 years to manufacture and is actually about 150 tons in weight and is about 100 feet high. Well, we've moved on from Hangaland Park and now we have come to the Olympic ski jump facility here in Oslo. The very tip up there is about 450 meters above sea level, but it's actually something like 200 feet above where we are standing at the moment. And obviously we come down. This was built originally for the Olympic Games in 1952. And here we've just come through to the other side of the ski jump, and obviously they come down here and take off just above us, down into this area here, and you can see all the seating around. But again, just look at the view into the distance here. Very lucky with the weather because the forecast was for heavy rain coming in this morning. Temperatures are a little bit fresh again, it's about 6 or 7 degrees I suppose, a little bit of a chilly wind, but very, very pleasant.
King Olav was extremely popular, and extremely popular. And after his journey to the North Pole,
we've just travelled on another couple of miles, but we've stopped at the local viewpoint, which gives us a sort of panoramic view of Oslo down below us, and sort of further inland. And so you can see some snow and that in the background. Nice golf course down below us. Typical Norwegian wooden houses down here. And Mrs. Nynham taking photographs again. Statue to the person that was in charge of all the forestry construction and landscaping in this particular area.
That it is because of the trolls, and now you have to look at the troll up here on the left hand. Think of those crazy people jumping from the top there. They are crazy, aren't they? And then you see the tower, the house with the tower on the other side. That is Holmenkollen Park Hotel. It used to be a sanatorium before, and Now it is a really nice hotel. But now I'm going to talk about Tromsø.
And in select dining, your restaurant hostess Jonah from the Philippines. And we can't forget about the happiest man on board with his over 450 wines, your wine cellar master Kara from Turkey. And ladies and gentlemen, in charge of it all, every restaurant, every galley, every bar, it is your food and beverage manager, Mark from England. All right, ladies and gentlemen, grab your napkins, prepare to wave them high in the air, as Celebrity Cruises is proud to present the grandest tradition on the high seas, the Moonlight Sonata Parade. Here we go! Fantastic chefs hard at work for you in the galley. If you truly appreciate the excellent food quality here in the Moonlight Sonata, let's give 3 cheers so loud they can hear us in the galley. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! One more, they deserve it. Hip hip! Hooray! Thank you so much. That is absolutely wonderful. I think we may have one of the biggest ties ever on the high seas. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for acknowledging them. And truly tonight we have had our housekeeping staff deliver to your staterooms some guest questionnaires. If you truly have appreciated these wonderful people and this great service, please remember them when you're filling those out and give them your comments. Everyone.
It's May the 18th and we are here in mid Wales at Lake Vyrnwy, and in the distance you can just see Lake Vyrnwy Hotel, where we have been the last couple of nights for Wendy's birthday. And this lake, which was built in about 1885, is in fact a reservoir to supply the city of Liverpool with fresh water, and consequently here to our right you can just see the dam wall going across. And the hotel was built in 1895 to house various civic and national dignitaries, including the Prince of Wales, who came to the official opening of this reservoir. Along with the reservoir, there's 24,000 acres of land owned by the city council that enables the water coming into the reservoir to be clean and fresh, etc. We'll have a little bit of a look further on, and but it's a beautiful lake. It's about 4 3/4 miles in length, and at the most it's about 1 1/4 miles wide. Just moving on a little bit up the lake, on the opposite side we have this tower, which again must be something to do with the supply of water through the reservoir. And looking on up the lake, you can see some beautiful views. Still further up the lakeside, we've stopped again because there's some beautiful views here. Look at this, it's just amazing. It's so quiet here, totally unspoilt. Beautiful spot. The most significant thing as well is there are no boats on the reservoir.